What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, club swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. Hope you guys are ready to go. Market got a little pep in its step this morning, but we'll see what happens throughout the day. We got AJ in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Albert. Good morning to Anna, Bill, Cindy, Corey, John. Good morning to Keith. Kevin's in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Lauren, Lydia, Malik. Good morning to Mark, Marius, Martina, Peter. We got Renee, Rob, Tim. All my people out in YouTube land. Good morning to all of you. We got me in the house. Only me sneaking into YouTube land. That's all right. All my lurkers in the background of YouTube, they're just not gonna say anything the entire time. It's okay. I still love you. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Sabine in the house in YouTube land. Good morning to you as well. But we got a potential, almost kind of maybe potential possible deal with India, but nothing official yet. So I think it was JD that was in India meeting with them. But last night you had some news, potential, I guess, framework of a deal with India, but nothing's obviously official or documented yet. I think we need the actual signatures to really get too excited, but market is up on a little hopium, so maybe we start to see something happen in terms of that front, some more news come out. And it's at least not bad news or increased tariffs, or at least it sounds like progress. So we'll see what happens. But market is up on it. I don't know how excited I want to be. I got really decent longer term volume zone somewhere right here around 520.49. So we're gonna have to see. We'll just call it 520.50. See if we get above that. If we do, we have a little bit more room. Again, can't get too excited, but we're heading right into some resistance above us. We got 524.05. The next one up takes us to 528.08. And then a really good one, if we could get there strong, would be 531.39. We're also going to see where this market closes. So a bunch of resistance on the way up. This is a gap and go, so I'm kind of torn on sitting on the fence of which way we want to open. Maybe a little chop out of the gate for some of these SPY names. Anything included in the SPY just seems like it's a little bit. You have some excitement from the Bulls. Just how long is that going to last for? And we don't know. And then again, as soon as the bell rings, we don't know what crazy news we get during the day. But at least we're rolling into the market with a lot of positivity. So we'll see if that holds. We got the Qs. Bijal says gold shines. When to take profit on GDXU? Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Which we'll probably just talk gold in general. But we got the Qs looking a little bit better. So maybe better to be in tech today than SPY. And again, SPY maybe gets above some of those key resistance. Qs are at but slightly above. I'd probably say right around this 438.63 or 65. So we're sneaking in probably maybe a few pennies right now. We got 25 minutes till those bell rings. Now we just dip below it. So we have to see where this opens. Otherwise, we're opening into a resistance. Can't ignore that gap and go that we have on the Qs. Also, pretty fantastic that we got through 436.85. So if we open, we reject this. Let's see if we pull down. Let's see if we could actually hold this 436.94. You do have yesterday's VPOC all the way down to like 432.03. I really don't want to see that one get hit. I wouldn't say the Bulls are being bulls if we end up getting through yesterday's closing price after a phenomenal gap and go. So I would be leaning slightly to the bull side on this one. Again, at open, maybe we get some quick little sell off, some profit taking from some bulls, which just maybe took a stab holding something overnight. And that maybe we could hold this 436.90 zone, 94 zone, something like that. But we could hold that. We get a little bounce there. The next time up, we break through. Otherwise, if we're going to open anywhere above 439.70, there's a lot of room to the higher side. The next spot up is going to take us to about 444.55. So we'll see. But Qs have a little bit of potential room in it. SPY does as well, just a little bit heavier on the resistance. Otherwise, looks not bad as well. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, BTC, USD. A phenomenal continuation day. So good breakout, good close above our 100. Again, we opened yesterday right above our 200, and we'll see again where today closes. Some of the Bitcoin related names didn't hold up as well. You do have some like MSTR going up today. Mars kind of a little trapped, but we'll see. We'll see if this one can carry. the rest of the markets, really nice looking breakout. Good high wave candle from back on April 7th. Bullish engulfing candle to follow. And then since that, we've done a decent amount of consolidating. Next target, we're very close to a resistance on this one. So watch this 89,715 zone. And then I think you got 92.54 is going to be a big level for it if you get past that. There's not really much. I guess your next bigger target takes us to about 93,215. And then major resistance back to this 95,818. We'll have to see how Bitcoin does if we get back there. But looks like we're breaking out ahead of the rest of the market. So not bad on that one. Gold was mentioned, so we'll take a look at GLD. Again, flight to safety. You are still gapping up, so watch that gap up because it's still positive for today. Again, if this is a flight to safety, if people are buying gold, they're typically not buying equities. So it's usually a little bit inverse. As the market comes down, you should see gold, you should see silver start to move higher. Some flight to some safety. Today you have both the SPY and gold gapping up. Gold was up, I believe, a little bit higher pre-market. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, we were up a little bit more, somewhere around 316. So we've sold off a little bit as the market started to push a little bit harder, but I think there's an inverse play to this. So Bijal's asking when do you sell it? I don't know the exact answer to that, but for right now, not yet. Again, how many times too have we seen? We haven't seen a deal yet. I think we need something in writing, something to say we have potential progress in this market in terms of the macro economy. We don't have it yet. We have more rooms, we have more rumors, we have more potentials. We got a lot of ifs out there in the marketplace. So I don't think we're done maybe with gold quite yet. But if you start getting candles that close right now on GLD at least, then you can kind of play any other derivatives or other gold type setups. If you're closing right now on GLD anywhere below 315.77, is that the peak? I don't know, but you do have a lot of room back to like 307.74 and then a retest to like 305.77 if you wanted to try to game it, try to pick it back up again. But right now you're still gapping up, still above yesterday's VPOC. It's very tough to call the tops in these things, but this is absolutely just going crazy. So if you're up a lot, you want to start taking some piece off the table. I get it, lock some gains at these highs. I do think eventually the market will settle down at some point, whether it's deal related or just bear exhaustion. But one of those two, and then you might start to see this pullback. You might to start to see a little deflation from some of the safety names, the golds, not the golds, the Coca-Colas of the world, the Pepsis of the world, and we'll see how it plays out. I don't know that the time is here yet, but with some rumors, some good positivity, maybe we start to see the deals come in. Now you might have a little less concern in the market. You might try to bottom out a little bit, and then I think that's where gold kind of gets the deflation. Peter says Tesla will be interesting with earnings after close. Absolutely interesting. They're pricing in about 11% move in either direction. So most likely, that's a big number. Most likely, we don't achieve any of that. We stay within the 11%. I would say most likely. Anytime you have something with 11% potential move, it's usually falls flat, so probably somewhere within this range, and we don't actually gap out of here. But that's about 20, 24, $25 each way, which would take us down to about back when it was in this 250 zone. We were looking at it. They were pricing in about 280 to the higher side, and then about 220 to the downside. So even yesterday, I was like, we've already at this point got to the 220 that they were expecting just a week ago. Probably not a bad time if you're trying to go long, if you like Tesla, probably not a bad time to buy your calls yesterday and then see what happens. It doesn't mean that Tesla can't report earnings and they're just trash and Elon doesn't do anything to pump it up and they fail. But you would get a much better price knowing that you're at the lows as to where they were pricing it in yesterday. So maybe we've seen a bottom, but it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Not even the stock price movement, although that's usually fun, but what the earnings actually are, and then what Elon decides to say about Tesla, his engagement in Tesla, what he's saying about Doge, and I think that will have the ability to play out. Can we get a bigger move than 11%? Sure, but that's tough to do. So selling some premium on Tesla, maybe not a horrible idea. In all honesty, it might be a decent move to sell some premium because it's jacked up with an 11% expectation. But otherwise, we're still hanging into this 220 zone. We are still hanging in there for today. It is a gap and go. You are right at the little resistance, so maybe you get a quick little. I don't know. Maybe we've just been running since about 7:35 this morning, so we've been running for almost hour and change already, just straight up. Maybe get a little pullback into some resistance. Your first one, we're sitting at right now, 231.12. Your next one, and that's a big one, 233.47. If we get through we do have a retest gap from yesterday, never really retested, and you could get stretch targets up to like 241.96. I'll stay relatively bullish on it, but hoping that we get a little pullback first to look for some kind of a buy spot, and then I don't know if I'm going to hang in there for that 241 almost zone, 240.96, but you do have a nice gap and go. You have a decent amount of room on it, so it's not bad for a day trade, and I probably want to stick bullish. We'll see if it gives us the opportunity to get in, and that's the big question. We got let me see Netflix first, NFLX. Um, Tesla naked put at 175. I do have some puts. I also got some calls, and then I got a pyramid on Tesla, so I'm fully in it. For either direction. Most likely, I think that my calls and puts probably don't do anything. I got some time on the put side of things just in case. That's just more protection, and then my Tesla calls expire this week, so looking for a little move. We got Netflix is looking good. A little bit of resistance at open. You got 999.72. Nothing too crazy. We've been through that. Your next move, next resistance, $1,004. We've been through that. Your next bigger level, 1010. We've been through that. And then the one we have not touched yet is 1,022.93. So that would be my target for today. You're gonna have obviously all those levels we just mentioned as some type of resistance on the way up. So I don't know how easy it's gonna be. Also inside day, and it is a retest gap, inside day retest gap. So probably not at open, but if this one wants to pull back, it looks like sentiment still wants to remain strong. I don't know if we get down to 91 or 991.82. That'd be a pretty cool spot if we do. However, now you got to get through this major resistance. Maybe we get a pullback to like 996.27. We see what happens there. That would give us probably the best risk to reward. Still keeping the Bulls in charge and see if they could kind of run this thing up. But Netflix, really good earnings on Thursday. Looks like we've had some people profit. They took their gains, and Bulls maybe looking for some continuation today. So we'll keep that one pretty high to the high of the list. Wendy wants 180 on Tessie. Well, if we get 180, those puts I got, they will be up a lot. And then I will cash those out and then just take the revenue and buy some more Tesla shares and rerun that play as long as it takes. So I'm with you. I'll take it. I don't want to see it, to be honest. I'd rather just see it balloon up to like 400 after the earnings. I think that's probably not likely, but maybe. I don't know. We got Nvidia is gap and go inside day from yesterday. Maybe get a little chop here. Watch the $100 level, psychological whole number, but we'll see how this one kind of plays out. Otherwise, you have your first support on this one, 97.84. So let's stay above that if you're going to remain bullish. You got your next target at the high of the day yesterday. We've already hit it yesterday now, though, so maybe that couldn't break through. That's 99.56. And then I think your target for today takes you to about 101.18. So not a huge move, but you got about $3 to a decent potential target. Again, huge resistance that we rejected, 99.47 yesterday. But we've been there, and now you have gap and go with some bullish momentum. Might be a sneaky little play. I don't think it's going to be the easiest in the world, but I like it in the bullish direction. Probably maybe some consolidation first and then we run, but we'll have to see. We got Amazon. Looks much better than it did yesterday. Not too far away from resistance. So our first one which is a major one. We did not get to it yesterday. We do have a gap and go, so you got some bulls trying to step in. You got the look of a potential setup for or developing double bottom. So not bad if you're a long-term Amazon holder or trying to get in for a swing trade. You have a decent opportunity. Not much, yes, some volume yesterday coming in on, not nothing too crazy. The problem with Amazon that I have is the target side of things. This candle from the ninth, tons and tons of volume, and that VPOC is 171.35. Even if you get past that one, your next two green days would take you up to, I think this 173.92 is a beast of a resistance. So if you could get there, that gives you about $4 to the higher side. I don't like the little runway we have. I don't like where we closed, where we opened. Now we got to get through all that again. I really think if the Bulls wanted to step in, and again, news can contradict all this, especially the deal with India, that would be great for Amazon. Not only direct correlation to Amazon, but then you also have maybe that adds a little pressure to China as well if a deal actually comes through, and that deal would be much better, stronger for Amazon. So probably will take some time, but otherwise, watch this 171.47. I think that's a big resistance for today. If we do sneak through it, you'd probably look for like 173.79. Otherwise, the gap looks great. I'd rather lean more bullish than bearish. I'm just a little scared of some of that resistance. We'll get that one a tad higher on the list. Tim says, I wish I knew how to buy calls yesterday. Why didn't you ask me yesterday, Tim? You were here. You were in the room. You could have just asked me. I'd help you out if you never purchased some calls before. You got Google is, I think, a little bit better than Amazon. Yeah, I was looking at Google, both GOOG and with the L. Um, this is a gap and go. I think you have a little bit more room on this one. So the big, I guess maybe not. I don't know. You got about 152.50, so you're still getting about a dollar 40 cents. Dollar 40 cents, and then I think your stretch target today is about 153.37. So good gap and go. Um, I don't know how much of a resistance is going to be. It's going to be there though. This 152.50. I think if you're under the impression you get to 153.42, it might be worth the trade. Otherwise, out of the gate, even though it's a gap and go, give me some kind of high wave candle in this one. If I'm going to try to play it, we'll see. Uh, would love to see a little. I would love to see a pullback, to be honest, into like 150.40. But if that's the low of it and we can get a high wave candle, we can get a setup. I do want to be bullish on it. That is a gap and go. It looks great. To close the gap really gets us to 153.37. So there's some hope. So it looks good. That first resistance is the one I'm a little scared of, but we'll see how the rest of the market wants to go. I know how to buy calls today, but do not know how to buy calls tomorrow. Uh, I think you made my brain explode, Tim. That's incredible. Incredible. I didn't know my brain was going to explode today, but it did. So I know how to buy calls today. Do not know how to buy calls today tomorrow. Now I got even confused. I skipped that word today tomorrow. All sorts of confused. We got it Neo. That one looks good. You got your 20 approaching. You also have a retest gap. China's still a little bit all over the place, but at least you're getting a little bit of a gap up. The key area for this one, $3.62. So let's see if we can hold above that. Come back for a little bit of a retest if it breaks through it. Two other levels to watch to see if there is a bounce, 360, and then you got 357. Nice little target on this one would take you into the pretty much into that 20 EMA, but VPOC is $3.74. It's under $5, so I'm not going to day trade it for me personally, just part of my rules, but looks good potentially. It's starting to pick up again. If you're even going for where can we target on the swing, probably about $4. It's about 40, just about 40 cents from here, especially if we get a 4 cent pullback or 6 cent pullback from pre-market somewhere. That would get you about 40 cents to the higher side, and then maybe you're looking for that gap fill. But probably that gap fill doesn't happen right away. My guess would be if you make your way up here somehow, then you get this pullback, and then the next effort to get to probably into here somewhere, and then potentially about 450 again. So still struggling a little bit, but nice to see it's bouncing a tad again for day trade purpose. I'll probably stay away. We got Meta on the list. Let's see what Meta is doing. Oh boy, Meta. Meta is barely hanging in there. It kind of looks like Amazon in a weird way. Maybe slightly worse than Amazon, but you have I think actually I I think this chart looks a little worse than Amazon just where we closed right underneath this. That's not a good longer term perspective for Meta. They do have earnings right around the corner, so maybe we start getting those April 30th is earnings. Maybe we start getting the buy into earnings effect. Again, does Meta really get affected by tariffs? I don't know. I don't think so. Uh, maybe if companies are concerned, they pull back on advertising. I think that might be the tariff lean to Meta. But day trade wise, I kind of like it. Uh, I like the day trade on it. I think better than Amazon. I think you have more room on this one. You don't really have anything holding you up. You have your spot, even if you're going to try to swing trade this one. Your swing trade stop should be somewhere around 479.50. That means that you're now taking out that previous VPOC. You're taking away this candle that potentially could turn into a bear trap if we start bouncing from here. So on that basis, Meta's not bad in terms of risk to reward. But on a day trade basis, I think you got this 502.48, close that gap up. Uh, Unless you see a crazy, crazy day, your next target would take it about 508.02. I don't think I'd be in there for that. But 502.76, I would have to be in this trade, and then tariff news comes out for me to kind of stay in there for above 502.48-ish. But yeah, I think it looks decent. I think it's a potential $12 move on Meta, which is not too bad. So even though the daily chart looks rough, I think I like it a little bit better for day trading than Amazon, maybe even Google. Baba, you got Neo gapping up, you got Baba gapping up. Again, maybe this is just uh, a little push from the potential almost kind of deal from India that maybe that puts a little pressure on China as well. But if that does happen, if that deal goes through, I probably would expect China to make moves a little bit sooner, come to the table, negotiate a little bit quicker. Trump did say he's expecting China, and who knows? But he's saying 3 to 4 weeks. He thinks there's a deal in China, so that gives us about a month time frame for something to get done there. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out because Trump said that, and then China just retaliated real quick. So who knows? But Bob, a nice gap. This is a retest gap, and it is opening into resistance. So I don't think I'd be too bullish. Even Neo was a little bit of a retest gap too. So see if China wants to pull back a little bit. For today, maybe we could look for support somewhere around 112.71. If we start breaking that, we break down that 100. It's not going to be as good. Probably a free drop into 109.44 your next spot. But I don't think I'd be too bullish out of the gate on Baba unless you start getting candles closing above 115.03, and then you immediately got your 20 and your 50 that you have to start trying to get some bounces through today. So even if we break to that 115, that would be a bullish sign. However, for day trade, maybe you only have another, I don't know, dollar, $2 from there to the higher side. So would rather see some profit taken on this gap up. Maybe a better spot to look long, somewhere around 112.63 potentially. We got Hood on the list. Hood, and then we should probably check out since crypto's going crazy, maybe some Coinbase MSTR as well. Hood, we got a gap and go. I don't even see where the lines are on my chart. There we go. Pretty much right at that red line that I had. Gap and go, resistance approaching, and you got your 20 that we rejected yesterday and the 100 which we rejected yesterday. They are intertwined. Maybe if we make a break out of the high of the day, that's probably your play. Even with that, your next immediate target is about $42. If you could squeeze past that, you got about 43.55. So not bad. It is a gap and go, opening at resistance. Would like to see this one pull back, and then maybe try to use this $40.56 as some kind of support. or slightly underneath it, get some kind of cool looking bear trap hammer intraday, and then maybe try to play it. Otherwise, if we do start breaking 41.35, that's probably where you start getting a little bit more room to the higher side, but you still have to worry about 42. So right now, there's a lot of things that look decent. Not a whole heck of a lot of room to run before we start getting into some more resistance, which I think you have to be accompanied by some news to start getting through some of those. We got MSTR. So again, Bitcoin going crazy. I mean, in this market, if it's a green candle, it's crazy. So take it for what you want. But Bitcoin's looking better. MSTR is not looking too bad. I think they still have an 11% short. So you might get some squeezing potentially coming out. Yesterday, it was a red candle. However, it's a retest candle. So you have some people taking some gains on this one. I still think that the sentiment yesterday is bullish, just with some profit taking. And now that bullish probably follow through is continuing. So that's red. I don't know if I would treat this one exactly like a gap and go, just because it was a retest gap yesterday. Um, but decent location if you could open in here somewhere around 328.01. Your next immediate target will take you up to about 337.29. That seems like a lot, but your stop has to be kind of wide. So you still might have some issues trying to get into this one. Nice double bottom in a longer term basis. And then a very key number. Get through this. We'll call it 338. Let's get a close above that. And I think you're kind of off to the races into the next move, which is like 348-ish. But probably meeting some resistance up here. Let's see if you get some chop or pull back first. I think is a better opportunity to get some risk reward. Again, keep in mind, not too long ago, it was down to 237.43, and now you've rocketed up almost $80 from just a very short time ago, April 8th. Already has a big move built in into a resistance spot. So be careful of that. Otherwise, if Bitcoin does go crazy, maybe MSTR could get that breakout. Let's check out Coinbase. Coinbase is not up $80 in the last 3 weeks, 2 weeks, but you are still up about $50. So in relative perspective, maybe you are a little bit high in this one as well. That being said, watch this candle from the ninth. You do have your VPOC at the relative high or just right above the closing of that day. So 178.08. It looks like we are trying to open above it. That's a good spot to be for Coinbase. If you're looking for some kind of potential breakout, maybe Coinbase is your play. And then you got 180.86 is kind of the next level. That's going to be the next one that you have to clear through. That would take you to 187.60, but at least you're above this high volume candle. You're above that VPOC. You had some consolidation. Coinbase might be again, I don't love the fact you're up $50 in the last couple weeks, but definitely pulled back enough. You were at a long-term support. You're right at the edge of right at the edge of like a serious drop. So again, look for some chop. Maybe we get that little bit of a pullback. The market looks strong, but that resistance is probably going to cause a little chaos. Other than that, that is the morning bell. So everybody needs to make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button if you have not done so already. You guys are incredible, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Later, guys.